Tonight on KVR News, student government helps with last-minute voting registration.
Find out how students feel about paid parking in West Campus.
And the impact Black History Month has on students. You're watching KVR News, your leader for live, local UT coverage.
Broadcasting live from the Texas Student Television Studios at the University of Texas. You're watching KVR News at 9, Austin's leader for live, local UT coverage. Your news starts right now.
Good evening and welcome back to KVR News for Monday, February 1st. I'm Viviana Castaneda.
And I'm Ala'a Ibrahim. Thank you for joining us.
Iowa is holding the first caucus of the 2016 presidential campaign season today that started at 7 p.m. Central Time. Only Iowans will be participating in the caucus, and the voters will gather in public meetings across the state based on polling data. The Republicans will likely see Donald Trump or Ted Cruz as a victor, and for the Democrats, Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders.
Although the caucus votes do not directly determine the delegates that the state will send to the party's nominating conventions, the caucuses have a large influence on the nominating contest for the past 40 years. Almost every major party presidential nominee began by winning in either Iowa, New Hampshire, or both.
Today marks February 1st, the last day to register to be able to vote in the primary. Students who changed counties are able to re-register. Students have to fill out a new voter registration form if they changed counties to attend the university. UT Student Body President Xavier Ronofsky says millennials often have a low voter turnout, something Hook the Vote hopes to change.
College students are one of the biggest demographics of people who don't vote in elections, and that's unfortunate because we hold a lot of power in who we choose to lead our country. So we're trying to get as many students out there to sway national elections, local elections. These things matter.
So there's now a new and easier method for Travis County residents to vote, and that's by using text messages.
Yeah, so registering through text is free until Election Day in November of 2016. State Senator Joe Christie spent 2 years helping to develop the new texting system. People can easily participate in choosing their federal leaders and local and state officials to register. All you have to do is text the word register to 48683 or the words I vote.
With campus-wide elections just around the corner, students have already started to file their candidacy applications. Students interested in running are having until noon for the 16th to file their application in the SAC room 2.102. Numerous organizations, including student government and Texas Student Media, have positions for the election online. Voting will take place from 8 a.m. on March 2nd to 5 p.m. on March 3rd. And over the holiday break, the city of Austin added 315 metered parking spaces following approval by City Council. Neighborhood Association, University Area Partners presented the plan to expand Pay to Park in West Campus to City Council in December, with hopes that the parking meters could pay for better sidewalks and lights in West Campus. But some students say that the reduction in free parking spots has put a strain in their wallets.
If anyone comes into town and wants to park near me, they have to park on the street. And that affects us when we're trying to be out and about during the day because there's a 5-hour limit on these parking meters here. So that means we are watching the clock, we have to run back to feed this meter, and by that time it's caused a huge detriment to our day, and the money is crazy.
Many gathered at the Martin Luther King Jr. statue on January 30th for Millions March Texas 2016. The Black Lives Matter rally and protest drew supporters from all over the state. I went out this weekend to see how Austinites felt toward this nationwide issue.
Asian, Latin, black, and white.
Supporters of the Black Lives Matter movement gathered at the University of Texas at Austin on January 30th on behalf of Millions March. a countrywide initiative demanding justice for the victims of institutionalized racism and police brutality.
The reason why we say Black Lives Matter is because Black lives aren't mattering right now. And this is a way to amplify our voices.
Taylor Tribby, a supporter from New Braunfels, Texas, drove hours to get to Austin. Although he was participating in the rally, his sign looked quite different than everybody else's.
Native American lives matter, just to show that they also count too for this demonstration for all minorities.
The rally consisted of an exceptionally diverse crowd. Race, gender, or even age did not seem to matter as the crowd chanted with their fists high in the air.
We just, want to be on the right side of history, but we've always raised our children that, we're all on the same planet, we're all the human race.
Ho, ho! These killer cops have got to go!
Protesters shouted as they made their way towards the Capitol. APD patrol vans inched behind the protesters but did not need to intervene.
We're just here to make sure that everything's peaceful. We're here trying to, we want to protect everybody's First Amendment right to gather.
And gather they did. Ala'a Ibrahim, KVR News.
No justice, no peace, no justice.
With diversity and race issues being a hot topic in the United States, we went out and asked UT Student Body Vice President Rahit Mandalapu and other students what they were doing to celebrate Black History Month.
Through student government, we're actually housed right above the Multicultural Engagement Center, and we stop by there all the time, sort of talking to people about how things are going within all sorts of different communities.
Like normally when I do like Black History, like I'll do like monologues, or like I'll like perform events for like, or like poems like pertaining to Black history. Like that's what I normally do.
I'm going to attend some guest lectures discussing issues in the Black community right now, Black Lives Matter and stuff like that.
It's official. UT welcomed a new formal entrance to the 40 acres. The concept of the entrance, which was established during the former President Bill Powers' presidency, aims to make the university more welcoming. Companies Dial & Partners and Barlett Stein Company collaborated on the project. Project manager Frock Bartel says, quote, "It will be a major photo-taking opportunity for years to come. At the intersection of MLK and University Avenue, the limestone lettering finds its home." Walking from the Belo Center for New Media to the Jesse H. Jones Communications Center just got a whole lot easier. The Moody Bridge, which provides a walkway across Dean Keaton Street, is set to be completed at the end of the month, providing a path for students to quickly get from one communications class to another.
So there's kind of this huge dividing line between the two areas of the College of Communication. So it's really cool to see this, symbolic and literal joining of the two areas. It's also going to be really excellent not to have to wait at the light as soon as it's finished.
Coming up next, APD continues their rock throwing investigation
and find out whether Texas is at risk of the Zika virus. Stay tuned for more KVR News.
You're watching KVR News at 9. Your campus, your news.
Citizens of Georgetown marched in protest of a Civil War ball happening inside the Williamson County Courthouse. The sold-out event, sponsored by the Williamson County Museum, called it, quote, "The Old South Ball, a Civil War dance." The event stirred up some controversy as participants paid for admission to come in traditional 1960s costumes and dance to music of the Civil War era. About 100 peaceful protesters surrounded the courthouse and circled the grounds for hours while the Civil War ball was going on. The director of the museum said that the event was not meant to evoke racism or controversy, but Georgetown City Council member Rachel John Rowe had to disagree.
As an individual, it made me uncomfortable. I did not like the thought of people playing dress up and having sort of a good time centered around the idea of a period of our history that I think needs to be treated with more sensitivity than that.
Museum coordinators have said the event was a fundraiser to raise money for museum upkeep, and it was corresponded with their current exhibit on the history of the Civil War. UT took strides to promote more diversity in the university's senior administration. UT mandated that all institutions must include at least one applicant from an underrepresented group in the final round of interviews for leadership positions. Chancellor Marievel based this policy off the NFL's 2003 Rooney Rule, which aims to increase the amount of minority candidates for head coaching jobs. The goal of UT's very own Rooney Rule is to enhance fairness and opportunity. It fulfills one of McRaven's 8 quantum leaps he proposed last November to further develop the university system. This makes UT the largest higher education institution to enact policy intended to advance the number of minorities present in senior leadership positions.
APD is investigating what could potentially be another rock-throwing incident along I-35. It happened at around 2:30 p.m. Sunday at the block of I-35 in Palmer. So far, there have been 52 reported rock-throwing cases since June 2014. There is a $10,000 reward for any information leading to the arrest of any suspects responsible for these incidents.
There have been 6 confirmed cases of the mosquito-borne Zika virus in Texas. The individuals have been diagnosed upon returning to the United States after international travel. The virus is transmitted primarily through 2 types of mosquitoes, and both are prevalent in Texas. UT Professor Jacqueline Dudley says, quote, "We are at risk in Texas, particularly the ones who have traveled to a country with many active infections, like Brazil. Scientists at the UT Medical Branch at Galveston are actively searching for a vaccine against the Zika virus."
Bastrop County Patrol Deputy Fred Ensiger was arrested and charged with driving while intoxicated and driving with an open container while on duty. At around 8:30 Friday morning, dispatchers were alerted when the deputy was heard over the radio with slurred speech. He was found shortly after parked on the street and holding an open bottle of vodka. Ensinger's bond was set at $10,000, but Ensinger was released on his own recognition. An open carry began in Austin on January 1st, but several businesses along the drag are opting out of the new law. Now, any businesses that are making more than 51% of their sales from alcohol purchases are already exempt from the open carry law. Now, Chipotle, Austin's Pizza, Torchy's, and Kirby Lane Cafe have posted signs outside their stores banning open carry of firearms. Our reporters went out on the streets to see just what everyone else thought about the restaurants opting out.
Those type of establishments, there's children there, and you never know like people's mindset once they have a gun that they can hold, and I don't think that should be accepted at a restaurant.
I completely understand both sides of it. I get that some people don't want to walk around with people just showing their weapons, but you have to realize that most of the people who are doing that have already been carrying their weapons the whole time. They've just been concealed. Nothing has changed except that you can see it now. So maybe it's better because you know who maybe if you're uncomfortable you want to stay away from.
My dad franchises restaurants, so I halfway understand and I halfway don't, because just because someone has a gun on their hip doesn't mean they're gonna sit there and shoot everybody. It's for their own personal safety.
2 teams from UT are trying to master a nearly impossible feat, getting from Austin to Dallas in 15 minutes. The project, known as Hyperloop, involves high-speed ground participation. The founder of this concept, Elon Musk, says Hyperloop is a new mode of transportation that seeks to create both fast and inexpensive travel for people and goods. The teams, called 512 Hyperloop and Texas Guadalupe, traveled to Texas A&M to present their idea at Design Weekend. While the teams did not place, group leaders say that they are not giving up and have currently are raising funds to make Hyperloop a reality. San Marcos is now one of the 40 cities in Texas to have a hands-free ordinance. The ordinance went into action today, so drivers and bicyclists must put their phones down while on the road. Violation of this ordinance could result in a fine ranging from $100 to $500 depending on the offense. However, the ordinance allows handheld devices to be used when at complete stop or for contacting emergency services. Well, this weekend we saw some breezy and sunny days.
Yeah, but will it last? Our Marievel Santiago is live in the Weather Center. Marievel, what's in store for us this week?
This first week of February is looking quite bright in Austin. But could we get a cold front and some rain in the mix? And what's in store for Super Bowl weekend? I'll have all your weather details after the break.
Have a news tip or story idea? Call the KVR News Tip Line, 475-8181.
Welcome back to KVR News. I'm Marievel Santiago. If you've been enjoying the beautiful weather this past week, chances are the sun is going to continue its shine throughout the weekday. Today we had a sunny day in the mid-70s, and onto the night, temps will drop to the low 50s with a wind gust of up to 20 miles per hour after midnight. Tomorrow, highs will be in the 70s. However, those 20-mile-per-hour winds could call for a light jacket throughout the day. Tuesday night, expect clear skies and a cold front passing through, bringing temperatures down to the 30s. Brace yourselves for that cold front by midweek, as our highs during the day will jump to the mid-50s. And at night, the temperature will drop again to the low 30s. Expect the similar trend heading over to Thursday and Friday, as the sunny skies will stick around with the cold front, dropping to the mid-30s at night. Saturday shows a mostly cloudy day with a 30% chance of rain in the forecast, as well as temperatures in the mid-50s during the day and high 30s at night. As for Super Bowl weekend, the sun will be out again. During the day, you should see highs near the mid-60s and a nightly low in the 40s. So whether you're out taking a stroll down Zilker Park or cooking out in time for Super Bowl 50, Austin weather should be looking pretty good. Live in the Weather Center, Marievel Santiago, KVR News.
Thanks, Marievel.
College Press Box's Caterina and Biancardi will be in the studio to talk Longhorn sports after the break. Stay tuned.
Now, KVR News at 9 Sports.
Welcome back to KVR News. I'm College Press Box's Caterina Biancardi. The Texas men's basketball team took part in the Big 12 SEC Challenge this weekend. The Horns defeated Vanderbilt at home this past Saturday. Let's head out to the Irwin Center for the highlights. Excited for this Big 12 SEC matchup and showing his Texas pride. Early in the first half, Eric Davis Steele leads to Roach with the dunk. Roach puts up the Horns 12-3. Horns ball, Isaiah Taylor has a nice look over to Connor Lambert, who takes it to the hoop. Horns lead the game 16-7. Still in the first half, folks, a rebound by DeMarcus Holland grabs to look for his buddy Isaiah Taylor, who goes in for a nice, smooth layup. Commodores ball now, Ryan LaChance dishes the rock to Damian Jones with the dunk, but the Horns still have control of this ball game. The Hellraisers at halftime are ready to throw their horns up for the second half. Fast forward to 5 minutes left in contest play, Luke Hornick with the hook cuts Texas' lead by only 7. Now, down the floor, nothing but net by DeMarcus Holland with the 3. 61-51 Texas. 2:24 left in this ball game. Princey Bay with the putback dunk. 66-55 Texas. And with 50 seconds left, Roach seals the deal with the dunk. Texas gains their 14th win of the season with a final score of 72-58. College Press Box's very own Reese Miller was there on site and has more on the victory.
Havoc, a controlled full-court chaos, and the staple of Shaka Smart, something his team is improving on the fly.
As the season's going along, we've been getting a lot better at pressing, being aggressive, getting people to where we want them, speeding people up in the press, forcing turnovers. That's just something that we focus on in practice every day, and we're getting better at it every day.
It's a long way away from where we'd like it to be, but I think what it does do is it makes other team work. If we can do something different, it just makes them prepare for it. It makes them adjust. The press can maybe get to some people's legs. And all those things combine into it being good for us.
After the bump in the Big 12 schedule, the Longhorns look to refocus for the second half of conference play. Texas plays 7 ranked opponents in their final 10 games, beginning at Baylor on Monday night.
You know, the really good thing is we don't have to play them all at the same time. It's too late to cancel. So we're going to play those games.
We're looking forward to it. We know that last time we played Baylor, it was a hard-fought game. We went into overtime. Things got flared up. emotions were strong, but we're not worried about last year. We're focused on this next game coming up.
I'm excited to see how our team responds to those challenges. I think they're opportunities. Again, you either get to play those games or you got to.
Texas gets to play at Baylor, then return home to play Texas Tech on Saturday. Reese Miller, College Press Box.
So, Katarina, the Horns are now playing at Baylor. What's the update on tonight's game?
Well, currently the update is at halftime. Texas leads 35-29. This would be a great win for the Horns for two reasons. One, this would gain another victory in Big 12 conference play, and two, it's a top 25 win, which increases their chances to get in that NCAA tournament. So we'll see what's in store.
All right, thanks for being here, Katarina. And now our Katie Keenan has your entertainment news. What's going on in the star world, Katie?
Thanks, Vivi. Well, Black China makes the Austin news, a recap of the winners from the SAG Awards, and the electrifying premiere of Grease Live. All this coming up on KVR News.
You're watching KVR News at 9. Your campus, your news.
Model and new girlfriend of Rob Kardashian was arrested Friday at the Austin Bergstrom International Airport and charged with public intoxication. Police say she was allegedly causing a disturbance while boarding a connecting flight to Los Angeles. After being bailed out of jail on an $8,000 bond, China took to Instagram and Snapchat to post pictures of her returning home, with captions such as, quote, "Bye, Texas." After this airport incident and the confirmation of her dating the only Kardashian brother, China has been trending in the media. Look out, Kim, you may have some competition for the spotlight. The 2016 Screen Actors Guild Awards were filled with glitz and glam. The big winners include Brie Larson for her acting in the film Room, and Leonardo DiCaprio for his outstanding performance in The Revenant. Idris Elba was the double winner of the night, receiving awards for his work in Beasts of No Nation as well as in Luther. In the midst of the Oscars So White hashtag surrounding the Academy Awards, the SAG Awards seem to dominate with diversity. Uzo Aduba took home a win for her work in Orange is the New Black, which also took home the award for Outstanding Performance by an Ensemble in a Comedy Series. And Viola Davis nabbed the award for Outstanding Performance from her role in How to Get Away with Murder. And Fox aired a television special that was full of nostalgia and grease lightning. The live-action adaptation of Grease starred Julianne Hough and Aaron Tveit as Sandy and Danny, with supporting roles played by Vanessa Hudgens, Keke Palmer, Carly Rae Jepsen, and Carlos Peña-Vega. The 3-hour musical was easily the biggest show broadcast last night, getting 12.2 million viewers and a strong 4.3 rating among adults 18 through 49. Grease Live ended up topping NBC's The Wiz Live and Peter Pan Live. However, the musical couldn't top 2013's The Sound of Music Live, which received 18.3 million viewers. This marks the first small-screen live musical event to bring in a live studio audience. Well, that's all for your entertainment news. Follow us on Twitter for updates at KVR News ENT.
Thanks, Katie, and thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Viviana Castaneda. For news and weather updates throughout the week, you can follow us on Twitter at KVR News.
And I'm Ala'a Ibrahim. Stay tuned for College Press Box up next on Texas Student Television. Have a great night.